So hi guys, I'm Swapnil and in this video I would be discussing the problem kickboxing from the January Primetime Coding Challenge. So let's get started with the problem statement. Here we have Prep Buddy and Prep Buddy is a kickboxer. He trains in the gym for T consecutive days. As I already told you in many of my videos that we will have to parallelly note down the important points so that it would be beneficial for you to compete in programming contest and not necessarily read the problem statement again and again. So noting down these particular points would help you a lot. So here we have t consecutive days. So basically this means we are having t test cases in total. He spends n minutes in training in the gym every day. Okay, so practice is of n minutes. N can be assumed as different values for different days. Okay, so that's what I said, that t is the number of test cases and for every test case we have a n. Okay, and n can be different for different test cases. Now for each of the minute of the n minutes of his practice on the ith day, he either punches for the whole minute or he either kicks for the whole the minute, for the complete minute. He keeps his minute-wise schedule written on a paper so that he doesn't forget the sequence of kicks and punches he has decided for every minute of training. So basically he keeps a track of all the punches and kicks which like he is performing or he is blowing in his practice, and he is like writing these particular things in a string which is of size n, and in this string s of n characters he has written down there are two possibilities as discussed earlier, that he can either blow a punch or he can either perform a kick. So string can consist of p. If it will be p then it will be a punch, and if it will be k then it will be a kick. Okay, so as written here, the character sj at the jth index of the string is p, representing that he has decided to punch for the jth minute of his training. So basically this means if any character, if a p character would be present in my string, that means at that particular jth index, if p is present, so for the jth minute of his training he blowed a punch. Okay, and at the same time if k would be present at the jth index, so for the jth minute he decided to kick. Okay, so what is our task here is that he tends to forget a lot. Thus, every day during training, he asks for your help in reminding him that in which minute M of his training will he be punching for one whole minute of exit time. So basically what this means is our task is to find the minute M in which he will be blowing the exit punch. Okay, means he would be punching, he have already punched x minus 1 number of times, and in the m minute he is punching for the x time. Okay, so he will ask you for multiple queries, and for his training string for this type for different values of x, and you are expected to answer them. So multiple queries will be given for the same. So here our task is that x is given and we will have to find the minute in which he is blowing the exit punch. Okay, so let me come to the input format. The first line contains an integer t representing the number of test cases. T test cases follows. The first line of each test case contains an integer n. Okay, and a string consisting of characters like p and k only. Okay, the second line contains the number of queries q. Yeah, fair enough. And the next few lines contains each integer, one integer each, which is representing x. Okay, x is the value for which we are running our query, right? For which I am trying to find the minute in which he is blowing the exit punch. Okay, what would be my output format? For each query on the new line, print an integer representing the minute of the day in which he will be punching during a whole minute for the x time during the day. Okay, and if there is no such minute in which he has punched for x time, so basically this can be a case when the total number of punches in the complete day is even lesser than x. Okay, so in that case I will have to print a -1. Okay, now the constants are the test cases can be as high as 10, and it can be between 1 to 10. N can be between 1 to 10 power 4, q can be between 1 to 10 power 3, and x can be any integer from 1 to n. The time limit in which we can solve this particular question is 1 second, and this is my sample test case. Okay, so let's move to the coding section and understand the sample test case in a better way. Okay, so in the first sample test case, we are having t is equals to 1. That is, the total number of test cases is equals to 1. My n, which is the size of the string, it is 4. The string is p, k, k, and p. Q is the total number of queries, and it is 3. And the first query is 1, the second query x2 is 2, and the third query x3 is 3. Okay, so the first question which is coming in my mind and should be coming in your mind as well, that how are we planning to use the string s? Okay, so what is the significance of this string s? This string s is telling us that in the first minute our guy he punched. Okay, because string s is pkkp. So in the first minute he punched, in the second minute our guy kicked, because in the second minute k is there. In the third minute he again kicked, and in the fourth minute he punched. Okay, so what is this? This is what my string s is telling me. Now my task is to find the minute at which he is blowing the exit punch. Okay, so let's not even think it coding wise, but just think it mathematically or analytically. If someone will ask me after giving these particular data that in the first minute the guy is punching, in second minute he is kicking, in the third minute he is kicking again, and in the fourth minute he is punching. If someone will ask me the first query, what is the first query? When is the guy punching for the first time? And I have this particular data with me. So analytically you can say that yeah, the guy is punching for the first time in the first minute. So the answer for x1 would be 1. When the guy would be asking when is the guy is punching for the second time, which is x2. So I would be looking forward to this particular string, and I would be seeing that when is the second time this p is coming, right? When is the second time, at which particular minute the p is coming for the second time? So the p is coming for the second time, that is he is punching for the second time in the fourth minute, right? So the answer for x2 would be 4. And coming to x3, when someone is asking me that when is this guy punching for the third time, but there is no third p over here, right? There are only two p's, means the guy has punched only two times, so there is no third time punching. So obviously this particular query would give me -1 as the answer. Okay, so now my idea is how to solve it by analytically. Okay, how to solve it? So I would be maintaining a basic p counter. Okay, p counter counts the punches done till ith iteration, or till now, or let us say till now. Okay, yeah, so p count is like counting the total number of punches that is done till now. And when, what will be my answer? My answer would be whenever this p count will become equal to x, which is the basically which is the number for which we are looking for. So P count is counting the total number of punches done till now. So whenever the total number of punches done till now will become equal to X, then that is my minute which I am looking for. That is the minute when he is blowing the punch for X time. So that would be my answer, right? Whenever, basically the minute when this P count will become equal to X. This is my answer. So how would I be like moving through this particular logic? At every iteration, this is my S and this is the index 0, 1, 2 and 3. So when I would be 0, my P count would be 1, okay, and I will having a check if P count equals X or not. If P count is equals to X, then I will simply mark the answer as I plus 1. Why I am writing I plus 1 over here? Because I is the index and index is 1 lesser than the minute. Basically in the first minute the index is 0, right? So here I will assign the answer as I plus 1 and I will break the loop over here, right? And for I equals to 1 we would do again the same thing. We would increment if this particular condition is not true for the I equals to 0 case, then it will move to I equals to 1, and in I equals to 1 my P count will again be 1 only because it is not incrementing. We will again have a check over this, and then I equals to 2, my P count again would be 1 only, right? And for I equals to 3, finally my P count would become 2, and we will again check for this particular condition if P count is equals to the number which we are querying for. So the basic pseudocode structure for this particular problem would be, I am having a string S, okay, this S is a string, and we are having the size of the string is n, size of string, and X is my query number, is my query basically for the number for which we are querying. So I will loop through the complete S from I equals to 0 to n minus 1, and if the value at ith index of S is a punch, or basically at ith index punch is present, then I would simply increment the count, okay. And here I missed this thing that we will have a count, or let us say P count, and we will initialize it as 0, and whenever I am getting a punch in my ith index, I am incrementing this P count, and when this P count would be equals to X, I will simply make the answer as I plus 1 and I will break this particular loop, okay, and I will just print this particular answer. And one more twist is that we will have to initialize this answer initially as -1. Why -1? Because if this P count will never become X, right? Means X is really high, and the total number of P counts even after completing the complete iteration is not like balancing this particular X or not becoming equals to X, then this condition will never run. And if this condition is not running, then my answer is -1 automatically. So this is my logic, and this logic would be running for each and every q queries which is given over here, and for total t test cases. So here is the logic which you can convert to any of your languages, which may be Java or Python or C or C++. I would be discussing the C++ implementation of this particular problem. So let me move to the coding section and start writing the code, including the header files. Okay, and int main, T is my test case and I is my looping variable. I am taking total T test cases and I am using a while loop, and I am running this while loop total t number of times, and then I am taking n and q and string s. Okay, here n is the size of the string, s is the string, and q is total number of queries. Now I will be like having another while loop which will be running total q number of times for each and every query, and it will be taking x as input, and for each and every such x, I would be moving from I equals to 0 till I is less than n, I plus plus, if this particular, and I would also be having for each and every query a counter which is initially 0 and an answer which is -1. For each and every query, I'm having these two variables. And if my s of I is equals to p, my counter will be incremented. Okay. And if this counter will become x in any of these particular iterations, I will make answer as I plus 1 and I will simply break this particular loop. So for this particular query, my answer would be like printed as answer and ender. Okay, so let me just simply run this particular code in the Sublime text editor, and I'm copying this free open so that input and output is like shown over these particular txt files. Yeah, so you can see that for the sample test case it is working 1 4 and -1. So I will just remove this particular free open files and I would copy the complete program and I would move to the PrepBytes platform and let me submit this one. We already saw that it is working for the sample test case, so I'm straight away submitting this particular code in the PrepBytes platform. Okay, so you can see that we got an AC over this particular solution. I hope you liked this video and got the basic understanding of how we solved this particular question. Thank you for watching this video.